What's going on, guys? Welcome to Clutch B-Ball TV. I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night. And today, I'm going to be talking about what the New York Knicks should do tomorrow, as you could start making NBA trades tomorrow at 12 p.m. And the Knicks are definitely one of those interesting teams. Are they going to go on a trade for a Russell Westbrook, trade for a CP3, take on a bad contract like Al Warford, but get in exchange a future draft pick, which you could probably package for a top pick of the draft in upcoming years? For example, if we're at the 14th pick and then we package like a late first round pick, if we have one of those picks, package with the 76ers pick and trade up into the top 3, including that 14th pick, or if you have the 8th pick, you know what I mean. But trading for Russell Westbrook, I would not be a fan of. I've talked about that in the past on this channel. You can check out my previous video, but I'll explain it once again. Russell Westbrook, first off, does not fit the timeline. His contract is atrocious. Like, R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson haven't even developed yet. He'll stunt the development of R.J. Barrett or Mitchell Robinson because he's so ball dominant, and it just does not make sense whatsoever. And he's not a guy that's ever going to win an NBA championship. Yes, making it to the playoffs would be absolutely amazing, but it's only going to be for 2 years, and then we're going to be stuck in this terrible situation like we've made the mistake in the past of getting a guy that's has a big contract. He's getting older, and we stunt the development of the other players, and we're going to have to give up future assets, and then we won't even have a draft pick. I've explained it like a lot more in the Russell Westbrook video. I'll leave the link down below in the description, but to me it just makes no sense whatsoever to get a player like Russell Westbrook. Yes, you'll be competing for the playoffs, but if you really want to build this team the right way, build it throughout the draft and hold on to that cap space as well. You'll be stuck in a terrible cap space situation if you go on a trade for Russell Westbrook. I'm not sure if I want to give up a young asset. Yes, a lot of people were like, Mitchell Robinson's not even developed yet. Do you think he's going to be a top center in the NBA? No, but I want to build this right core of guys of RJ, Mitchell Robinson. We want to change that narrative so then we can finally look like a good organization. I know a lot of people are saying James Dolan. As long as you have James Dolan, you're never going to look like a good organization. But James Dolan has actually been very hands-off, and he's let Leon Rose do his thing. And he's even come out and said that he won't give up a lot if he wants to get a Russell Westbrook. So they're not that heavily aggressive into it, which I love to see. Because at the end of the day, I want to build a good basketball team. Like, we could still be a win-now mode team while rebuilding. And I'm not talking about tanking. Or, like, we could still be competitive. Like, a lot of people are thinking, oh, Noah, you think just tanking is going to, like, rebuild your basketball team? No, get these win-now mode pieces in the draft of a Devin Vassell that can make an impact right away, and they're culture-changing pieces with the right mindset. They play both ends of the floor, and then building throughout the draft, not giving up draft capital, can help you trade up in the draft and future drafts as well. But I'm tired of drafting these projects. Just don't swing for the fences. Hit that single, hit that double, that can make an impact right away. But trading for Russell Westbrook is not ideal in my opinion. Trading for CP3, okay. CP3 is older, but he'll make more sense. He's a guy that he really commands the troops around him. He's a guy that's one of the best point guards in the NBA. He's a more traditional point guard, which I'm a fan of. He's a pass-first guy. He's really good at picking his spots. He's a better shooter than Russell Westbrook. CP3 is just a true professional. He's good at coming off the screens. Could you imagine the alley-oops to Mitchell Robinson? His contract's shorter. He's not ball dominant. He's going to make the right basketball play. But yes, I would love to draft a point guard in this draft. It depends if we're in love with one. Don't draft one to take one. At the end of the day, I'm a big fan of drafting the best player available, but I do think Kyra could be a good player in this draft, or a good player in the NBA, Kyra Lewis Jr. out of Alabama. But yeah, we really have to trust our coaching staff. It all comes down to trusting your organization because you need stability. And Russell Westbrook, if we got him, I think it would be the same narrative all over again, rushing the process, and I do not want to rush the process. But taking on bad contracts, I wouldn't be mad at that whatsoever. Taking on an Al Warford, I'm not a fan of Al Warford, but if we can get future assets to trade up in like future drafts, I would not be mad at that whatsoever. But I would definitely want to trade for shooters. We need shooting bad on this team. RJ Barrett, he's not a great shooter right now. We need someone to take pressure off of RJ. Mitchell Robinson, not great shooters. Hopefully whoever we draft is a good shooter, but if we draft Okoro, I won't be mad at that, because I think Okoro is one of the toughest mental players in this draft. Great defensive player. You can't look at the numbers and be like, oh, this dude's a trash player. He put up 8 points. When you watch the games, you'll see the impact he makes on the basketball floor, making the right basketball pass, Like, he's an underrated passer. If you actually watch his film, he doesn't jump on passes. He's a very fundamentally sound player. He's a great athlete. He has tons of upside. He can perform off the dribble. The jump shot is the big thing with him, but I don't think he's terrible in catch and shoot situations. He has a good jump shot. Sometimes it could be long. I'm not going to say good. It's decent in catch and shoot situations, but off the dribble is definitely the big question mark. But when he misses, it definitely is long. It looks like he puts too much mustard on his shots. But let me know down below, who do you think the Knicks should go on to trade for tomorrow? Do you think we're going to go on to make any splash moves? Are we going to trade for Russell Westbrook? I really personally hope not. I know a lot of people are like, I want the Knicks to be competitive. Well, if you want us to be competitive more than 2 years, because Russell Westbrook will make us competitive for 2 years, we'll be knocked out on the first round of the playoffs. And keep in mind, if we make the playoffs, most likely we're going to be 7th or 8th seed. We'll be stuck in mediocrity of we'll make it to the playoffs, we won't go far, we'll get knocked down in the first round, and we won't even have a high lottery pick. Like, we won't even have a high pick at the end of the day. And I know everyone's talking about the format. If we had the highest odds, again, the first overall pick, and we couldn't even get it, what are your chances? Like, what do you think we're gonna get with the 14th highest odds or whatever? But that's just my personal thoughts. Let me know down below your thoughts and analysis. Who should we go on a trade for? Should we make any big splash moves? Should we not? I personally think we shouldn't. But as always, guys, have a humble day or night. Peace out, y'all.